and welcome back to the M2 Podcast. I'm your host, MikeWillEatU. My co-host right here is Mr. J.K. Heath, Kyle Heath. This is the show where we cover gaming industry-related news. This week, we're going to be covering about 5 articles, the typical usual stuff, talking about Microsoft's Xbox new marketing plan. Sony is thinking about doing a buyout on FromSoftware. We're going to dive into that. It feels like it's mostly talking about Sony, really. There's also a Sony new PlayStation Portal update that came out. There's new leaks on a Steam Controller 2. It looks bizarre, and I'm excited to get into that. And then, of course, there was an announcement. I think it was Monday this week, Kyle, or maybe it was Sunday. Game Award nominees. So we're gonna dive into that. There's a little bit of controversy, people upset. It's worth talking about. So before we get into it, Kyle, how you been? What have you been up to? You been gaming?
Oh yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, I've been gaming. So this week, played a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3. That's more of that.
Oh,
Had fun.
okay.
Dove deep. I think I'm 13 hours right now in story, so we're really diving deep, dude. we're going all in. No, a lot of fun on that. Played some more Once Human. Got that. I reached max level in that game, but there's still a lot more world to explore, so hoping to spend a little more time on that this week and kind of progress a little bit more throughout that. I played a little bit of First Descendant. I went back to that game a little bit.
Nice.
And
yeah, I remember you were playing that like a lot, and then you just kind of stopped talking about it for a while.
Yeah. It's because I didn't play it. Now,
yeah, that's usually how it happens.
Yeah, I'll hop back on a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably playing that game a little bit every now and then. Don't expect that to be like the main game, but certainly something to get back on and shoot stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's really, I think game wise, that was really it this week. Kind of rotate between those three, and I don't know. I think I want to hop back on like Dead Island 2. I think at some point. I still haven't finished that game. I'm very close. So definitely want to finish that out. Hopefully, maybe even get back to that this week. But really, dude, it's like, getting the holiday season. Who knows how much time we'll be having for games? Hopefully sometime. But I'll be out of town for some of this weekend, so won't be able to game as much as I would like coming up. But hey, dude, got Thanksgiving next week. A little bit of free time maybe for after I'm full and stuffed. Be a little more, maybe a little more time to game. But
all the good food, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, that'll be real nice. But yeah, we'll see, man. It's I still have stuff on the docket. Couple weeks though. Get Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
just a couple weeks, dude. It's not very far, so looking forward to that. Close out the year. And yeah, we got the Game Awards coming up soon, which we're gonna talk about later. So should be it's a good time for.
I love the Game Awards.
Good time to represent games. I don't know. It's exciting season. Getting in the holidays, getting into the thick of it. You know what I'm saying? So, good stuff.
It's gonna be magical. I think. I absolutely love the Game Awards, and I'm excited just to see why people were so salty. I know you mentioned it because I haven't looked into it at all. I was thinking save it for the podcast so we can do kind of like a react content to it. But you had mentioned people are upset about DLC being in Game of the Year.
Yeah, that was.
I totally get that.
Literally that. That was like kind of the main thing I saw. I don't know if there was much more to it, which I guess we'll find out in the article. But or maybe you find out. I think I don't know if the article we're going through. It's really just gonna be like here are the nominations. I don't think necessarily it may not talk about the drama, but it's Polygon, so they might. But yeah, it'll be kind of like a react thing, and we'll see kind of what they think. Yeah, dude, it's interesting. I think it's gonna be a lot of I think there could be a lot of discussion and things we could dissect out of it. Because it is interesting to put DLC as a game of the year. I think so. I'll definitely get into it, but dude, listen, before we even get into any of this, Mike, what'd you play this week?
Honestly, man, I haven't played much of anything, to be honest.
This guy.
I told you, so like last week, I pretty much turned into a slug. I had very little interest to play any games. It was just mostly like doing the whole Vegas thing, being back in town, trying to get rest, trying to get back up to speed at work, that kind of stuff. Like get back in that like, okay, I'm not in vacations, like back to the normal routine. So I've been mostly just focusing on like health and fitness, trying to get eating properly, like get back in the gym, because a lot of my time was just taken up watching people game, really, and like watching footage. So it's good. I did load up Call of Duty. I know you saw me playing that. I've been trying to get my buddy to play it. Poor guy can't launch the game. Every time it launches, it crashes. I don't know what to tell him. Like he needs to figure it out. But I did join a Discord with a handful of my buddies who we played like a whole bunch of games together in the past. We haven't played Call of Duty together yet, so I'm looking forward to getting on that. I did get into. I think I'm in two different leagues. One for Halo 2, one for Halo 3. For the Ascending Baseline server, they're like an up and coming org for Halo esports, and I think they do Apex Legends as well. They sponsored one or two teams going to the HCS like majors, so you might have heard of them before. But they're doing open enrollment for like draft tourneys and like pre-made teams and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, well, I'll support the community, like be involved. It's only maybe an hour and a half, like an hour and a half a night on like one day a week. So I'm like, yeah, might as well do it. So I signed up for that. Outside of that, man, it's just mostly been like brainstorming content creation. I know I talked to you like last week about how I wanted to get more into content creation. I wanted to take us to like we need to start doing live shows, I think, to be a little bit more interactive with the chat. So we can do our usual routine where this is always like one take with us.
Yeah.
And unless like technical difficulties that we've had happen.
It's exclusive to the live, you know.
Yeah, it's like it's basically
difficulties.
live. So I was thinking like maybe we'll just do live content as well, like TikTok, YouTube, and like I've just been really brainstorming how to make that possible. Because I think what we have right now, for those of you like behind the scenes right now, you're the one that's mostly recording everything, and then you're doing
Yeah.
the timestamps and everything, like making sure everything's all set up and published. I can do the same thing, but the live streaming side. That way your PC doesn't get bogged down.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the main thing that matters is the recording.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
the audio level and the video for whoever might be watching.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to focus for you. And I think for me, I can start doing the live content as well.
Yeah.
And it gives us like a good opportunity to just like chat with people before we actually start, and then after we like finish, just sticking around because you and I we basically like hang out before we start recording, and then we hang out afterwards. So I think it could be a good opportunity to just hit the live button, hang out, vibe. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I did my first meme on Twitter. I sent it to you. I was geeking
It's
out. I was
good,
very
dude.
excited.
It's
I
actually
even
really
mentioned
good.
it right when you joined chat. Yeah, like first time ever doing tracking, so I'm like, I was so proud of myself, dude.
Man, dude, it turned out really well. I was
I,
impressed. I was like, oh dang, okay, this is like the first time Mike I feel like is really trying to
I
like
like
actually
actually,
do proper tracking and do like a meme and turned out really good.
dude, I had no idea what I was doing. Went on YouTube, tried to figure it out, bombed like 8 times. I was like, why the heck isn't this working? And then I just started doing trial and error, and then it started working. And at one point, I was like, why can't I just like select the tracking per frame? Like that'd be so much easier because
Mhm.
it's an anime. It's like it's not live, so or like art, like real footage. Whatever I'm trying to say. So I figured it out, and then that's why it started to look smoother in certain areas. I was like, that's when I figured it out, and the other ones I had no idea. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it was cool, man. I'm just excited. I think more than anything. Uh, Future, I'm playing absolutely Black Ops 6. So the next time you ask me for an update, I'm talking about Black Ops 6. 1,000,000%.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn CDL settings, trying to learn rank settings, trying to play with the boys. I tested out all the performance capabilities to see if I can actually stream it and play it. So I think that's the goal here.
I got you.
Do a
Yeah.
little bit of get a little bit into the live streaming.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Rank Play was supposed to come out today, yeah? Weren't they like releasing it early or something like that?
I don't know if it was today or tomorrow, but it's definitely this week
No.
for sure.
Definitely out by the time this show's out, so
Oh yeah, yeah. We do record kind of early.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, that's all I've really been doing. Nothing too much of an update. Just getting back in the grind, man. That's really it. Get back in the grind, have more free time to do what I want to do, and I want to do more content creation. I want to start making more stuff for the pod, and we'll just see where we can take it.
Yeah.
That's the
Hey,
idea.
dude. It's like that, especially with your travel schedule, dude. Need to bounce back, you know?
Yeah, that's the goal. I'm trying so hard to stay focused. This stuff. Remember how that was like gone?
Bang energy.
It still exists out in the wild.
Surprised you found
so,
one, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I know 2 locations to go to in Uptown Charlotte. We call it Uptown here because we're yuppies. And I know 2 stores that always has them in stock. So I got it on lock, dude.
Yeah, I'm
But
surprised.
yeah, how about we
Going down.
how about we dive into like the first week's episode or the first article of the week?
First article.
My brain got melted.
For-
Sorry.
All right, so the first week of the episode. Just kidding. All right. Yeah, let's get into it. We're starting off a little bit of an opinion piece, but I think it'll be a recap of kind of stuff we've covered, but also maybe some insight, perhaps. So this comes from gamesindustry.biz. Coming from Rob Fahey. It sounds kind of weird to say Fahey, but yeah, I think that is it. Rob Fahey over at gamesindustry.biz. He said Microsoft's Xbox transition moves into high gear. It's an opinion piece. He says with a campaign about Microsoft as a cross-platform service and no red lines first party on other platforms, the change in Microsoft's games business speeds to a conclusion. This is an interesting ad that they released this week too, that we're showing for the people on video, people watching video, that is. So it's essentially showing everything is an Xbox, which is kind of what we've been talking about.
Yes.
Like that's been their game plan, right?
We've been like you and I have been preaching this for pretty much the last like 3 years.
Yeah.
About how they don't care about the console anymore.
Yeah,
It's all about taking it wherever you are.
Yeah, they really don't. And so they going from kind of left to right, just for people on audio, they're essentially the ad is it shows an actual Xbox Series X on the top left. It's talking about this is an Xbox, and it goes down the line. It shows a laptop. It says this is an Xbox for your lap with a picture of a laptop. This is an Xbox that tags along, and it shows a Steam Deck. This is a cat box, and it shows a cat inside a litter box. Kind of a funny meme, haha. This is an Xbox that goes in the wall, and it's literally a TV. Xbox that makes calls, it's a cell phone. Nice little smartphone. This is a bento box, another meme. Good one. This is an Xbox on the inside, and it's a Fire Stick. Streaming on a Fire Stick. This is an Xbox that you wear, and it's a VR headset. And then the last one is an Xbox. Is that a Series S, I guess?
That is, yes. Yeah,
looks like a
Series S.
This is still an Xbox. So, again, the idea, Xbox everywhere. So, without further ado, let's get into the article by Rob here. He says, it's been clear for quite a few years that Microsoft's notion of what Xbox actually means has evolved past physical consoles alone. It now describes a whole ecosystem of software and services that spans all sorts of devices, and which it says is itself just one outlet for Microsoft's enormous game publishing business. It's taken a while for the industry to wrap its collective head around this change and some of the unusual bedfellows it has created, such as Microsoft now being one of the biggest third-party publishers on PlayStation. Given the novelty and complexity of the situation, there's been an open question about how it would be communicated to consumers. How do you tell the world that Xbox actually is now, or what Xbox actually is now? This week, we got a good look at Microsoft's first real attempt at solving the problem with the This is Xbox Market campaign, which I was just describing. It uses the slogan to highlight the fact that phones, computers, streaming devices, VR headsets, and smart TVs are all Xboxes, as are the existing Xbox Series S and X consoles. The messaging is simple and fun. It's a good effort of communicating an incredibly complex evolution of the Xbox ecosystem in a way that disposes of much of that complexity and instead highlights the core benefit to consumers. It's probably going to go down like a lead balloon with a lot of Xbox core fans nonetheless. The evolution is a bitter pill for them to swallow, especially since it brings with it certain changes that, while entirely commercially sensible, look awfully like capitulation. Oh my gosh, thank you. Okay. Wow, I didn't even try to pronounce that. You notice that?
I saw your face and I was like, I got my man.
Oh,
That's
okay.
The one time I actually know how to pronounce the word. Every other time I mess up.
Oh man, that was a difficult one. My vocabulary kind look awfully like capitulation to a certain breed of veteran console warrior. Oh man, Microsoft's game titles steadily becoming multi-platform by default and picking up plenty of their sales on PlayStation is a tough thing to accept for people who have pinned part of their identity to Xbox consoles. The question what future there can be for game consoles whose platform holder has lost interest in the idea of software exclusives. Valid question in light of decades of industry logic about exclusives being the foundation stone of console sales. And it very much is, Mike. Very much was.
It was. I don't think it is. It only is for Nintendo now. Nintendo and PlayStation, like iffy, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it still is for PlayStation. We just haven't really seen too many like crazy releases because games are taking forever to make, and these studios
Yes.
like we haven't seen a new solid game or like even a new IP or anything from Naughty Dog because their last game got canceled, which was live service,
That's
and
a
it
fact,
just
yeah.
it took years. It was like 2-3 years in development at that point probably, and it got canned.
That's
So
a huge L too. Yeah.
it's like you spent all that time and then you just cancel it. And it's like, all right, well, back to the drawing board. So this is gonna take another 5 years. See you guys in 5 years. So yeah, I think it's still very much a thing for Sony, but they just haven't been able to really take advantage of it because, especially this year. I mean, last year I think we had Spider-Man and everything, so that was awesome. But
that's true. Sony had a really big year last year, and really like the last like 2 years, I think. Just this year, no, nobody has.
Yeah,
really.
Seemingly right. Yes. So this is why 2025, 2026. It's gonna be insane. Just saying, market. It's gonna be insane. You heard it here first. You know. So Microsoft knows its strategic shift isn't going to make all the passengers on the ride happy, and its messaging is trying to assuage. I don't even know how to say that.
I don't either. So your guess is as good as mine, dude.
Dang it, Rob! How dare you? Trying to something fears where possible. Jeez. I don't think it's a coincidence that the This Is Xbox campaign, which some will undoubtedly and not entirely incorrectly see as minimizing the importance of Xbox hardware to the overall ecosystem, rolled out at the same time that Phil Spencer was making a point of emphasizing the company's commitment to future hardware launches in interviews. Speaking to Rolling Stone, he said the company would, quote, definitely do more hardware in the future and other devices. The other devices probably being a reference to earlier comments to Bloomberg, where he confirmed that a handheld Xbox device was in the works, albeit probably years down the line. Handheld Xbox. I see. It's very interesting. I see some divide too, because I think there's some people who are like, why would you work on a handheld device? Like, we don't want that. Why would you do this? But then you got other people that are like, there's so many handhelds now. Why would Xbox not try it? You know? So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of my train of thought because it's if they get rid of or if they get away from the Xbox like ecosystem. When I say ecosystem, I mean the traditional Xbox dashboard that all major consoles have with the handheld, and they treat it more like how Steam does with their Steam Deck or the way Switch does their thing. It's like I guess Logitech would be the other handheld that I'm thinking of, where it's just a PC, but like almost a tablet with just nunchucks on the side for everything to be controlled. I think that's what Xbox should do, and if they can make it better than anybody else, I think they have the engineering and the technology and the finances to make that happen. It's just will they actually do it? Like what's the goal? Because the market's so flooded now with handhelds, and that is kind of where gaming's going. So how does that look for Xbox is the real question. We have no real idea. So
sure don't.
Yeah, all speculation at this point.
So this is part of a transition. This part of the transition is always hard. There are people who signed up wholeheartedly for the vision they had initially, and in few places is that so true as in the gaming console market, where somehow people feel encouraged to devote a whole portion of their personal identity to brand loyalty in these devices. It's true, dude. We're all about it.
It is.
Call them the Sony ponies for a reason. Am I right, Mike?
Dude, PlayStation guys, they love their Sonys, man. They absolutely love them.
I think PlayStation's good. I don't think it's PlayStation.
I think it's good.
No.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I think there's just in terms of brand loyalty between the two consoles, the two major ones between Microsoft and Sony. I think the Sony base is a little bit more hardcore. They had, like the longest like IPs. They had the exclusivities for the longest. Xbox has been slowly transitioning for the last 10 years away from just being a console and turning more into like moving over into the Windows and the PC aspect of things. And you can't blame them. Microsoft owns Windows and operates it. That's how they make all their money. It's pretty easy for them to make an Xbox launcher app on their own proprietary software that everybody uses except for some people that like Linux, you know? It just makes sense.
It does. I think it does, yeah. Yeah, dude, Sony's diehard, man. It's just the truth. Pivoting to a new approach is painful for them, trying to keep these customers happy and loyal to the greatest extent possible through this transition will always be challenging. Talking about future hardware, even if that hardware is still in the concept stages and its launches is years away at best, is certainly one way to keep them engaged and enthusiastic. It's true, yeah. Gonna give them a little crumb of hope, you know.
That's true. Gotta feed them.
The exclusive console's coming.
Not that bad.
They're not the target audience for most of what was said this week, though. And Spencer was very clear in the same interview that while Microsoft may be committed to future hardware launches, Xbox hardware hasn't actually been a growth market for them lately. They see the growth coming elsewhere, and in pursuit for that growth, they will be building out not only Xbox as a cross-platform offering, but also Microsoft's position as a multi-platform publisher.
Yep.
That's where the money is, baby. In the publishing.
Yes, that's where they're going. You don't own anything anymore. Subscription-based models, baby.
That's all it is. Unfortunate if you think about it. What is a license, Mike, you know?
A right to borrow.
Pretty much.
That's basically what it is.
Servers are down? Sorry, dude. Hate to break it to you. Your game ain't playable, G. Speaking to that aspect of the business, Spencer told Bloomberg that there were no red lines, as far as he is concerned, in terms of games in the company's catalog that cannot go multi-platform. It's a pretty clear warning. The Sacred Crows are now absolutely on the menu. Yep. That is, dude. Unsafe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe.
Ain't nothing safe. Oh, we're gonna get into a little bit further into the article. They talk about the IPs I was mentioning between the two.
Let's get into it, dude. Short of an actual announcement of imminent availability, this is probably as close as we're going to get to confirmation that the biggest Xbox franchises will be appearing on other platforms in the relatively near future. Halo, Gears of War, Forza, the games that have been platform defining for Xbox are almost certainly going to be available on PlayStation in some form in the coming years. That doesn't necessarily mean that there will be day one launches on PS5 for new titles of those franchises, though it also doesn't preclude it. But it does essentially mean that the era of permanent platform exclusivity for those titles is coming to an end. This is the final shoe that core Xbox fans, dismayed by the company's new direction, have been waiting to hear drop. The commercial logic, however, is unassailable. Franchises like Halo now exist within the same studio system as Call of Duty, which just enjoyed a record-breaking launch with a strategy that combined Game Pass availability on Xbox with high unit sales on PlayStation and Steam. A 1-2 punch for the wallet, you know what I'm saying? Like
yes, sir.
It's crazy, dude.
That's how it happens. This is the way the world ends. Oh.
Listen, man, for Call of Duty, why not Halo? Why not Gears? Some crazy release.
That's what's coming next. Yeah, it's the one that makes the most sense, I think. Yeah. Like it says, commercial logic.
Sure does, dude. Just how it is, man. There's no way that a commercial strategy for Halo as a single platform release can be justified when its stablemate franchise is performing so well with its cross-platform approach. If the core Xbox franchises are to remain commercially relevant and viable, they need to fit with Microsoft's new business model, which is, in essence, as a gigantic multi-platform publisher with a subscription and platform services business as one of its pillars.
Yep.
That's
exactly why it launched free-to-play.
There you go. It's true. That will also be the fit required for any of the new acquisitions Spencer also hinted at. They'll be aiming at rounding out a publishing business, not at securing exclusives for a platform business. It's worth noting that Microsoft is not alone in the strategic shift. Sony may not be going to the same extremes by any measure, but it's putting most of its major titles on PC, albeit after a delay, and launching a Horizon spin-off title on Switch, LEGO Horizon Adventures, both of which are changes that would have seemed unimaginable not long ago. It's true with the LEGO series, right? They didn't just straight bring Horizon games over, but they're just like, hey, here's a good way to kind of get some of our IP out there indirectly, kind of. Just put it on a LEGO game. All right, put it on the platform.
It was kind of amazing to see that be an option. I never would have guessed that would happen.
I never would have guessed that with LEGO, right? It's kind of
there's no way I would have ever thought that. LEGO's a massive brand, by the way.
Oh yeah,
everybody knows LEGO.
Dude, the games are just insane. All the Batman games, Harry Potter games, so much fun. They were all good.
Yeah.
Dude, they were hits on Wii too.
Very cool.
I mean, obviously they were on everything, but I know on Wii too, I feel like they probably got the lion's share of that audience because it's more kid friendly and It's more families playing those kind of games, so
Yeah, and not only that, but it's one of those, what do you call them? Remember, I mean, it's kind of like the video game equivalent to cartoons or shows meant for kids, but have adult content within them that the adults can also enjoy.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? Disney was like really good at that early on.
Yep.
All the old ones had like those little tie-ins and stuff. Nickelodeon did that for a while too, but it's just cool to see.
It's a nice subtleties that keep the parents entertained, you know?
Yeah, because it
Gotta
makes
do that.
you like raise your eyebrows. You're like, oh yeah, I didn't
You're
see
like,
that, and then
"Ha,
like the kid doesn't
they
have
don't
any
get
idea.
that."
No, exactly. And it makes it fun.
Yeah, it does. One interesting thing to consider is what sort of time frame Microsoft is considering for this transition. Conscious of the feelings of Xbox customers, the company has been pulling the band-aid off slowly so far, but the new marketing campaign and Spencer's phrasing hints that they're now prepared to rip it off quickly. That could hint at many more high-profile Xbox titles going to other platforms sooner rather than later. One goal they probably have in mind and would like to reach reasonably quickly is following companies like EA and Ubisoft and establishing subscription services on the PlayStation Store, for which they'll need a substantial software offering on that platform. While this wouldn't be Game Pass on PlayStation by any means, a big library of Microsoft, Bethesda, and Activision Blizzard games being made available through a Microsoft game subscription on PlayStation would still be a major step. Perhaps eventually we'll see a cheeky "this is an Xbox" campaign that that embolizes that over the image of a PS5. Could you imagine?
Yep.
That'd be the ultimate, like, what year are we in kind of thing. Like,
Oh, that would be insane.
if you would have told me this in 2015, I wouldn't believe you kind of thing. Oh man,
that would be so nutty to see.
Times are changing, dude.
You would never be able to predict any of this about like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
When
Dude, we're talking. I mean, it was what, 2001? It was November 15, 2001 when the Xbox came out, right? Original Xbox. Pretty sure that was it. 2001, I think is the year. I know it was November 15. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. 23 years. I mean, that was only 23 years ago, which, isn't that long ago when you really think about it. In the grand scheme of history, like, it's still relatively
it's nothing. It's meaning. Those are seconds in the grand scheme of history. Yeah, it's like meaningless. But in terms of like average lifetime, it's like probably like a quarter of your life, maybe.
Yeah,
stay healthy.
Pretty significant, right?
But yeah, it's significant. But I see what you're saying in terms of like technology and the development of it, and the generations of where we have gone.
It's just, I don't know, like, when you really think about it, Mike. Quick side note, quick tangent. When you really think about it, the iPhone was released, 2006, 2007? Like, it's less than 20 years ago, and it's already evolved to this point where it's literally a mainstay for everybody, and it's like a necessity for most people. It's like you would have, like, no, I don't think everyone in 2005 would have predicted, like, oh, phones would have evolved that quickly to the point where they're like mini computers, and you just can't live without
it. Developing that quickly, no. I think everybody, when the BlackBerry came out, I'm old enough to remember everybody saying this is the future, and this is what everybody's going to have going forward. And I remember being in like middle school or high school, and they said, "You're not going to have a calculator with you all the time, so you need to learn how to play math or like do math." And it's like everybody has a calculator now. Like, not only do I have a calculator, but I have like an engineering graphing calculator that I can do anything with.
And now I have AI that can literally do everything for me.
Yeah. The only problem with stuff like that, and it's really unfortunate, is it makes education secondary for a lot of people. It's very sad to see, because if you're not properly educated, properly informed, and if you don't know how to research effectively, people can take advantage of that because you're ignorant. It's not you're stupid, you're just ignorant to it. It's tough, but hey, that's a philosophical question.
Sure is.
That we do not have enough recording time to get into. But
I just gotta finish
going back to this, going back to the future of gaming here, I think I don't know. Before we go further, 20 years ago was the original Xbox, right? Maybe a little bit longer. 23. Yeah. What is 20 years from now going to look like? I don't think consoles are going to exist.
Probably not.
Personally.
There's a heavy influence on cloud. I think VR is probably the next, like, I mean, I don't know. Then again, like, VR is, I feel like it hasn't improved like insanely since it released. I mean, it's definitely gotten better, like res wise and of
I
capabilities.
feel
But
like if it was more affordable to the average consumer, it would exponentially skyrocket.
yeah,
I
and it's still
think,
not there
right?
yet. I feel like. I mean, I shouldn't say that because like the Quest is like what, a few $100. I mean, that's not terrible, but like um,
Nah,
but like the
but
big
it's still
VRs are like $1,000 or something like that. You want like a Vive or
well,
something?
it's not just that though, remember? You have to buy like the machine to
Yeah,
connect to it. You have to buy the games because none of the games seem to be free to play.
yeah. There's still barrier to
Like,
entry for sure.
yeah. And what I found is the problem with gaming right now in particular is the hardware is really far advanced and the games haven't caught up to what the hardware can do. That's
Yeah,
what I've noticed,
yeah,
and
that's fair.
we're in a very weird state where there's no balance. I don't think.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, we're still getting there with VR. I think. I mean, I think VR could have a bigger marketplace for sure by then. Like 20 years from
Yeah.
now, it's like, I mean, especially with the way internet's advancing, like it's gonna be primarily like definitely no like consoles or anything at that point. It's gonna be mainly
No.
like you can run stuff off a TV or something,
Yeah.
or a VR
That's
headset.
what.
Like you could just the
Yeah.
VR headset itself will just run everything. You don't have to
I think everything's gonna go to 5G. Everything is gonna be like you have a
6G,
wireless VR
7G at that point,
headset.
dude.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is 20 years in the future we're talking about, but the idea is everything will be wireless.
Oh yeah,
Everything.
sure,
And
yeah.
you'll have headsets that are completely wireless that all Bluetooth connect to all your devices. And you basically have what is the MetaQuest or whatever, like the
Yeah,
freaking
dude.
Apple thing where you can have the whole computer with you.
Dude, forget Bluetooth, Mike. It's like a red tooth at that point, dude. It's like
That's
beaming off the
it's
walls
red
and
too.
going crazy, dude. Well, like
You're not
version
wrong, man.
50. Oh man, it's
Oh
it's
yeah.
kind of it's kind of overwhelming to think about that, like what it's gonna be like in 20 years, because it's like there could be a lot of possibilities.
I think one of the issues go ahead.
I think it's hard for me to fathom that because like technology has advanced so quickly in the last 20 years. It's hard for me to
Yes.
imagine a leap of that magnitude again over the next 20 years. But I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, I guess. I mean, it's, when you think of it from an engineering standpoint, I'm not an engineer by any means, but I think too, it's like we're obviously shrinking things smaller and smaller. It's like with the elements we have on Earth, how much more can we push it kind of thing? That's where my head kind of goes. And you're more of kind of the engineer, so you maybe could speak to that more, but like, I just feel like physically we're going to hit a limit at some point.
There are a lot of things that the government, like specifically military industrial complex, has right now that we do not have access to.
Yeah.
Like there are ways that there was stuff that I was learning in college where people were using kinetic energy and the way polymers, which not polymers, it was nanofibers. You can't see nanofibers. They're like so
Yeah.
small, but you can layer them on top of each other to basically make something almost like bulletproof. Depends on like what you're trying to make. But they found a way to connect these nanofibers together to create a circuit, and you could literally move it up and down, and it would create energy that you could store.
Mm.
So like there are interesting concepts that we were like talking about in design where I remember I came up with the idea is everybody has a cell phone that needs to be charged now. Like everybody has electronic devices on them that always need to be charged. Why don't you convert like the nanofibers into clothing? Use that so when you're moving around, you're walking around, that creates energy, and then you have a little small battery pack that you can use to plug in and charge your phone. Now
Go
you
crazy.
never have to be stationary to charge your phone. It's like there are little
Sci-fi
things
stuff
that
right there.
like
Yeah.
there are little things where it exists already, but it's not marketable yet. It's very interesting. It's like there's a concept of there is no true innovation. It is the government innovating first and proving that it can work, and then the private sector taking those ideas and profitizing off of it.
Get
It's
the tinfoil hats on, baby.
No,
Let's
that's really
go.
what it is. It's like NASA created Velcro. They also created like the fibers and stuff for like yoga pants.
Yeah.
Only astronauts use those back in the day because like pens and like pens like all these different types of things that only work in space and made things like granola bars, like stuff like that
Yeah.
were all innovations done by the government funding. They never made profit for them, but it
Yeah.
proved that it could work. And then it switched over, and now everybody knows what those are. Every woman ever owns yoga pants. You know what I mean? And it's not
It's
just that;
true.
there are other like clothing articles and everything like that. And
Yeah.
it's
Listen.
yeah, it's just that happened decades ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, they were invented decades ago, but they didn't become commonplace until more recently, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
True.
just that's how it's gone. So it's like they're really interesting things that we know about, but are not feasible yet.
Yeah. I just thought about dude, quantum computing. That might be huge, dude.
Oh yeah, that's,
Go
dude, it's game
crazy.
over.
Go crazy.
It's game over, bro.
And dude, yeah. I mean, everything. Then again, everything's gonna be AI. Then dude, by then you could have like it's all AI. You just speak to something, and then it'll be like, hey, load up this game, and then you just play, and it works flawlessly, and it's all streamed. I don't know, dude. Go anywhere. That's
Yeah,
something I could. If we really thought about it, we could go on forever about this because
oh, we can definitely rant. We can definitely rant.
there's a
that's for
lot
sure.
of possibilities.
This is why I was saying we should start doing live streams because then we can take people from the chat.
Yeah, going forever.
All
Listen.
right, I definitely detoured this a little bit. I just wanted to ask what your thoughts were about going 20 years in the future.
Yeah, it's an overwhelming thought, but it can go a million different ways. It's interesting,
Yeah.
though. It's interesting.
What I like most about it is you can't be wrong, really.
Yeah, not right now.
Like, it'll be 20 years from now and you're gonna forget.
Exactly.
This is just bar talk.
Yeah, literally. So let's finish out the article. Let's cap it off. You know what I'm saying? Whatever fears its fans may voice, Microsoft shows no inclination to follow Sega's lead by becoming just a third-party publisher. But it's very clear that the reinvention of the company's gaming business model is continuing space and moving from business reorganization towards large-scale public rebranding. The objective is to detach the scale and success of the game's business unit overall from the success of the Xbox hardware platform, declaring that there are no remaining red lines in the process of moving to multi-platform is a major statement of intent in that journey. It might be an emotional few years for the core fans of Xbox, but based on how it's gone so far, it'll probably be the most commercially successful period in many years for Microsoft's gaming business. Wow, what a line. What a line.
Yeah.
Sorry, Xbox fans. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't do financial advice really, but if I was a betting man, I'd probably throw it into Microsoft. Throw it into Microsoft, Intel, AMD. Those are the big ones I would throw it into.
Yeah, might be worth. Yeah, dude, crazy article though. I think there's. I think Roy's pretty. I think it was Roy. Yeah, Rob. Sorry, Rob. Gosh, sorry,
yeah,
Rob.
Rob's
pretty spot on.
Fahey.
Yeah, I think Rob's spot on. I mean, it makes sense. It's where Xbox is going. We've been talking about it. It's gonna be on everything, and it's the best. It's the best path at this point in the age of innovation to just kind of go with the streaming and do all that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what it is. I think the era of people that keep saying that it's not going to be like this isn't what's going to happen, or they're still stuck in this like Xbox versus Sony versus Nintendo because that's what they thought was always what it was going to be. It's like you just sound like an old man yelling at the cloud, man. And the truth of the matter is everything's going to go to the cloud. Everything's going to be streamed. And unfortunately, I mean, Xbox seems to be the only one geared towards that, and has been for the last like 5 years, counting since we've been talking about it. We've been like, yeah, they don't care about selling consoles anymore. Phil Spencer, how many times does he have to say it? We don't care about selling consoles.
Care about your consoles.
He cares more about selling controllers. It's just unfortunate
point,
that all their controllers are trash.
Tell them. I just saw a quick side note before we continue. I saw apparently at the time of this recording is going to be up. Sony on their PlayStation Direct store is selling the 30th anniversary PlayStation colored DualSense Edge. It's like $220, and I was like, "Oh, it's looking kind of tempting." It's like the gray,
dude,
like PlayStation,
dude.
Yes, sir, dude. It looks so good.
You gotta
I'm like,
me
oh, I kind of want it.
I got mine right over here, dude. I got mine right
kind of want my
here.
DualSense Edge themed with the old PlayStation colors. Crazy.
This is one of my favorite controllers right now, dude.
I hear it's good, man. So I'm just like, oh,
so
shit,
so
I want it, dude.
I play Halo with it because I'm sacrilegious. It's great, dude.
Let's go, baby. We should talk about some Sony stuff, dude. Continue on, because this is the Sony episode, apparently.
That's true. This is basically a Sony episode for, I know we just talked about, basically spent close to 30 minutes just chatting about Microsoft and Xbox and cloud gaming, but I think that was just more general stuff than anything. This one is more specific. The next two articles we're talking about Sony. So for those of you that are Sony lovers, pay attention. Getting into it, this is Wesley Yinpool, who covered countless and countless of times. He is over at the IGN. So title of the article is FromSoftware parent Kadokawa, I believe.
I like that.
I feel like I always pronounce it wrong. Kadokawa confirms Sony's buyout intent, but insists there's no decision has been made at this time. The talks are currently ongoing. So this is a bit of a speculation article, but it is sort of, breaking news, so we got to cover it. Let's get into it. Kadokawa? Now I feel like that's the right way.
Oh,
Kadokawa.
tomato
Kadokawa.
tomato.
Yeah, it really is, honestly. The corporation has confirmed it has received a buyout offer from Sony, but insists it has yet to make a decision on whether to sell up. Earlier this week, Reuters, oh, jeez, I always say routers, Reuters reported that Sony was in talks to buy Kadokawa, whose subsidiary FromSoftware is behind smash hit Elden Ring, the Dark Souls and Armored Core games, and PlayStation exclusive Bloodborne. So a lot of heavy hitters. If you don't know at least one of those, I don't know what to tell you. You're listening to the wrong podcast, to be
Yeah,
honest.
dude. Especially Bloodborne. Dude.
Kadokawa, I don't, whatever. Kadokawa has now confirmed the report with a note from CEO Takashi Natsuno issued after shares in the company skyrocketed on the news. The Natsuno goes ahead and says in this article, there are some articles on the acquisition of Kadokawa corporations herein after the company by the Sony Group. And however, he continues, however, this information is not announced by the company. The company has received an initial letter of intent to acquire the company shares, but no decision has been made at this time. If there are any facts that should be announced in the future, we will make an announcement in a timely and appropriate manner. Sony has so far declined to comment, and I don't blame them. Not going to commit just quite yet.
Yeah, still talks.
So, yeah. The company, their business model, Kadokawa's business model, extends into areas that fit into Sony's broader entertainment offerings, which includes anime, manga, TV, and film. Kadokawa is a prolific publisher of anime, and Sony already owes anime streamers Crunchyroll and Funimation, as well as FromSoftware. Kadokawa owns Danganronpa developer Spike Chunsoft, Octopath Traveler developer Acquire, and RPG maker and pixel game maker developer Gotcha Games. So the company is the majority owner of From Software, with around 70% of the company. Sony already owns around 14% of the developer, with Tencent owning about 16%. Pierce Harding Rolls, research director at Ampere Analysis, told IGN that news of a potential deal isn't that surprising. So just so you know, Ampere Analysis is research, like data analysis and like for companies. Just a little bit of context. So he goes on, Piers Harding Rolls, the person, goes on to say Sony's interest in Kadokawa's games publisher From Software was made more concrete in 2022 when it acquired a roughly 14% share of the company following up on its longtime collaboration with the company. At the time, Sony mentioned a broader interest in cross-media development of anime and games IP to support its other media businesses. So, in that sense, any deal for the parent company, Kadokawa, which also operates extensively in manga and anime, is a natural extension of this earlier deal. The other areas align nicely with Sony's anime businesses. Interesting. So just to finish out this quote over from this research director, Pierce Harding Rolls, he goes on to say, the market conditions for acquisitions have changed dramatically over the last 2 years, but Sony will always be looking for opportunities that can fuel its growth and that bolster its IP portfolio and that represent value. There may also be a defensive element to this move. From Software is an important partner for Sony's games business, and it will not want a competitor taking control of Kadokawa and potentially disrupting that relationship. It helps that Kadokawa is also active in areas which are a strong fit for Sony's wider business. That is pretty interesting. I didn't know that actually. I didn't know how much really Sony had everything, like how much involvement they had in the entertainment space.
Yeah.
I always think of just what I know and what I talk about the most is PlayStation products.
Yeah.
but to see, oh yeah, they Crunchyroll. Oh yeah, crap, I didn't even think about that. It's
Yeah,
like they
that's
have a crap load of
dude,
anime,
that's
TV shows, movies,
yeah.
film, art.
Dude, Crunchyroll
Nutty.
alone is crazy.
Yeah,
Like that's all.
that is
That's
pretty
like
crazy.
your main
Yeah,
way to watch most anime. So
yeah.
that's for everyone who enjoys anime out there. That's definitely the way. They say Funimation, but I'm pretty sure Funimation shut down. I think it's all Crunchyroll now.
Yeah, that's kind of why I say Crunchyroll. But I know
Yeah,
Funimation probably still exists. It's just
yeah. I know at one point I
yes,
think they were shutting down, but I don't know.
it could be gone, but it could also be
Yeah.
like
I mean,
could be in a dormant state.
yeah.
You know, some
It's
companies will do that when they buy something.
yeah. I don't think this article mentioned it, but another important aspect of Sony and another actually huge leg of Sony that isn't often talked about is life insurance. They actually sell life insurance, and it's a huge like it is a huge aspect of that. And when you really think about like Sony as a brand and what all they have, I mean, it's no
Yeah,
surprise that life insurance is a huge leg of that because it's like everyone needs life insurance, right?
of
So
course.
yeah, it's one of those things like it. I would implore people to look into that because it's like it's one of those things like you don't realize like that's a huge portion of Sony. And obviously the Sony Interactive
Yeah.
Entertainment and all that's like obviously the PlayStation and kind of all of that and the Crunchyroll and whatnot. But there's also another leg of Sony, which is why they stay afloat. I feel like it's because it's like, oh, you just have this huge like you have there's a lot of different pillars that Sony has that people may not realize.
You know what? I didn't even think about this correlation. It's almost like an epiphany, right? So when you're comparing Microsoft and Sony or Xbox and PlayStation, you need to take into account which each parent business owns, like all the
Yeah,
different industries that are in. So it's like Microsoft, they're a software company at
yeah,
its core.
through and through.
Yeah, that is their core business bulk. Like that's why they're so profitable. Amazing. The Xbox side of things is more of a subsidiary, like to the overall profit machine that is Microsoft. Sony, I think, is more diversified. Like everybody knows the electronic side. Yeah, you got PlayStation, okay, cool. But yeah, you also have TVs. You also have the audio side. There's like a lot of Sony products,
Yeah,
earphones, like earbuds. They're really good.
yeah.
They're integrated into a lot of different software too. Some things that a lot of people don't really know is this Sony? Hold on, I have to Google this before I say something outlandish. Okay, I'm thinking about Samsung, which is good why I Googled this. But Sony also has like a whole bunch of accessories and stuff. I was gonna say Samsung like HVAC stuff,
Oh yeah.
but that's something different. Sony is more based upon like consumer goods and luxury items and accessories, but entertainment, of course, that's what we just mentioned. So I think Sony might be a little bit more diversified than Xbox, which makes it kind of obvious why Xbox would be a little bit ahead
Like leaning a little
on
heavier.
Sony.
Yeah,
Yeah, like leading when it comes to gaming
yeah,
because
does make sense.
Xbox is more built for the future and Sony with PlayStation has been slow to adapt
Like
and like
Sony
they're
has
trying
time,
to
I
catch
guess.
up.
Even though
Yeah, it's
even
like
though I feel like they should
yeah,
innovate, but yeah,
yeah, it's like I want to know how much of their profits or how much of their business is selling PlayStation products, you know,
yeah,
compared to Xbox
yeah,
or Microsoft with Xbox. Yeah. Not
yeah. That's an interesting
like
thing.
at this point it's like apples to oranges. I feel like
Yeah,
very diverse groups. But
yeah.
let me go ahead and finish out this last little bit of the article and then we can jump on to the next one. So for Sony, its gaming business has already suffered significant layoffs this year and the closure of multiple studios, including Concord developer Firewalk. In February, it announced a round of layoffs affecting 900 staff, or about 8% of its global PlayStation workforce. The layoffs impacted a number of PlayStation studios, including Insomniac, Naughty Dog, Gorilla, and Firespite. Two of those you've already mentioned. And the PlayStation London studio was hit with the hardest with the notice of closure. Since then, Sony owned Bungie has also suffered devastating cuts as Destiny 2 struggles to find commercial success. That is a silly thing to say. Sony 2 or Destiny 2 has commercial success. Their newest DLC did not really compared
Yeah,
to their
yeah,
expectations. It still has success. It's just Bungie's trying to make a new game as well. Two,
yeah.
well, technically three,
I mean,
but two that we know about.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I agree. It's probably not fair to say like. I mean, yeah, sure. At the moment, it's like, oh, it's probably not as big as it was. Obviously.
No, no,
Um.
no.
Yeah. I mean, Destiny 2 was successful for a long period of time. I think. But yeah, right now it's like it's clear that they're running out of rope, and it's like they need to move on. To whether it's a new game or a new IP, which obviously Marathon, right? So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, so I mean, I see what you're saying, but I mean, I guess it also is true that they're not really. It's hard for them to find success right now because not much left to milk there. But
facts.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Sony's an interesting company. And it's when you really dive deep, it's like there's a lot of different legs, and like I think you're saying it's kind of. I feel like we're both kind of figuring out. It's like, oh, that kind of makes sense as to why Sony maybe lags a little bit behind seemingly in their gaming stuff, because it's like we don't really have to worry so much financially. So
yeah, that's why I said it was like an epiphany. I feel like we know this, but we don't really take it into context because you and I are running a gaming podcast, so we're predominantly talking about Xbox and PlayStation. Of course, like the other softwares and launchers or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is like those are just really small elements of a ginormous conglomerate company that's producing tons of different like products and is in different categories within the economy. It's just a whole different mind frame. I think we've been going so narrow with the view that we kind of forgot, like, oh yeah, Sony doesn't really need PlayStation like at all.
Yeah, so, like contextually, it actually makes sense. But
yeah,
I just want them to innovate. You know, it's kind of a want thing. Like,
no. I think that's why we narrow our vision so much. But tying in to innovation, we can talk about the PlayStation Portal update.
I should talk about
this one. I'm leaving off for you.
Yeah, this is interesting too because for those that don't remember, whenever the PlayStation Portal was originally announced, everybody was very confused because all it was. And confused and a little upset because all it was okay, I have to have a PlayStation 5 to use it. It has to be kind of connected to the console. Online, the idea is you're staying within your home. I know some people...
your Wi-Fi network or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some people before this kind of was a thing. Some people were actually taking it outside and were able to connect to Wi-Fi and connect to their PlayStation. PlayStation had to be on kind of thing, so there still had to be tethered in that way. But it was kind of just like, the fact that I need a PlayStation for this is kind of upsetting because it looks like such a sick device. Well, that might change.
There were some people that got around it, though. Just FYI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I did see some ones where like people are in a different country and they're over here playing on their PlayStation.
That's what I'm saying, dude. But that could be changing, and we could be getting a feature to this device that people wanted since launch. Let's get into it. Let's come from Jay Peters over at The Verge. Jay the GOAT. Let's go. Sony's new PlayStation Portal update lets you stream PS5 games from the cloud. Can you believe that, Mike? We can stream from the cloud on the device now.
I'm ready for that. It's about time. It's one of the times where they actually decided to listen to their consumers.
Seems like. PlayStation Plus Premium subscribers can beta test cloud streaming for portable gaming that isn't tied to the PS5. Let's get into it. There's a cat in my way, so I will try to talk around the cat. But I... into this. Lay down, kitty. Okay.
Good luck. Cats don't listen, dude.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Lay down. Sick. All right. So, let's get into it. Sony is bringing a big new feature to the PlayStation Portal, cloud streaming. When it first launched, the device was only able to stream games from your PS5 over Wi-Fi. But as part of a new system update that's rolling out starting later today, you'll be able to stream select PlayStation 5 games from the PlayStation Plus game catalog to your Portal device.
Let's go.
Let's go, Mike.
Let's get it. Let's get it, baby.
Sony's launching the feature in beta, and you'll need to be a PlayStation Plus Premium subscriber to take advantage of it. Sony says that
subscribe, baby.
Sony said that to stream a 720, you need a minimum 7 megabytes per second connection, while 1080 quality will require a 13 megabyte connection. I mean, most places, if you don't have that, I'm very concerned at this point, but you should have well above that in most areas. I know internet infrastructure is not the best in a lot of places, but like we're still doing that in 2024. Like, you just may need to move, brother. I'm sorry.
Well, the way I say it, dude, the way I see it is if you can afford a PlayStation 5 and then can like afford the Portal, you should have those speeds.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's very true. Yeah, you should definitely. There's just no excuse, dude. Like, definitely. All right, let's continue. Some PlayStation Plus features won't be available to start with cloud streaming to the PlayStation Portal, including game trials, party voice chat, game invites for select games, 3D audio, and in-game commerce. And you won't be able to stream any PS4 games or PS3 games. Child accounts also won't be able to use cloud streaming on the portal. The beta is available in the following countries: Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg. I said that right. Sorry, Luxembourgians.
That was Luxembourg.
Is it Luxembourg?
Yeah.
That sounds right. Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Norway, Poland. I saw Portugal and Poland, and I just melded it into Portland like it's Oregon. Poland, Portugal, Republic of Cyprus. Is it Cyprus? Cyprus? Oh,
Yeah.
Cyprus.
Yeah, Cyprus is the island in the middle of the Mediterranean, I think.
Oh. Well, congratulations, guys. You have PlayStation Portal streaming. Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, United Kingdom, and last but not least, baby, the country of freedom, Mike. The United States.
Okay. This guy.
Sony launched cloud streaming on PS5 consoles last year. As part of the new PlayStation Portal update, there are changes to audio too, including a lower minimum volume level and the ability to tweak settings of a PlayStation Link device from your Portal settings. Let's go, Mike. You can now stream games to your PlayStation Portal. Could you imagine this goes
Pretty
full,
interesting.
like, this goes like full kind of, you don't need a PlayStation? Hey, dude.
That's the
I might
what
get
I
one.
just yeah, I know, man. Like that's what I just looked into on like the comments section. I was like, I wonder if anybody's thinking the same thing I am. Top comment: does this mean I don't have to buy a PlayStation 5? It's like, let's hope
Literally.
so, dude.
Literally, let's hope so. Let's hope to step in that direction, because I think a lot of these devices would sell if, you don't have to worry about getting a PlayStation. So
It's a fact, dude.
that's why I look at it, man. The way I see it,
It's pretty cool.
my view to the world. I think it's pretty dope, though. This is, again, it's a feature I feel like should have launched with it. So I'm glad to see it's there. And yeah, not really too much more to add. I feel like it's kind of just like, I hope this does well. Hopefully it becomes a main feature, and then people could start buying this and stream your games. You have good internet,
Yeah, I mean, we just need good internet.
Yeah.
And good hardware. Well, we need good internet and games to play everything on.
True.
We need good servers. But yeah, this is pretty cool. It's good to see. Like, pretty much the main complaint I always had was you needed to have the console, and you need to be connected, and it can only be at home. I was like, dang, man, like how lazy are you? Just play in the other room with your console.
Right,
But
dude.
now it offers something that makes sense. Whereas before, when it was originally announced, I was like, why would I get this?
Yeah.
I remember you and I were talking about it. It's like, what is the point of this?
Yeah. It makes the most sense to me if you are like a kid or a teenager and your PlayStation's out in the living room and you want to play little games, but your parents are watching the game or something like that, doing something, watching a movie.
That's a fact. That's a
They're just
fact.
like, I
Like
wanna
the
play my
living
game.
room TV's already occupied. Yep.
Just be like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll be in here. Click, click, click. Like, that's the
Yeah.
best case scenario, I feel like. That's like the main target audience, in my opinion, but I don't know.
Rich kids.
Rich kids, dude.
Because let's be real, it's $200 for that.
Yeah.
That privilege. So, and at that point, dad is probably going to buy you a TV in your room instead.
Yeah. Good point. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Hey. What do I know, dude? I don't work for Sony, Mike. I wish I worked for Valve, though.
Yeah, Valve is
Kind of.
really trying to innovate. There are some weirdo controller updates going on right now. So this is coming from The Verge as well. Sean Hollister, the other, I like to think of them as a duo. You got Jay Peters, and you got Sean Hollister over there at The Verge. Kyle already talked about Jay Peters' article. Let's talk about Sean Hollister. So this article is about Valve. So there is a leak, and I like to think of leaks as rumors until officially announced.
Yep.
So the leak is that Valve is making a Steam Controller 2 and a ROY, or what's called, quotes, ROY for its Deckard. And in quotes, Tears in Rain, ROY, not Fire Emblem ROY. Just in case you didn't know. Let's start chatting about it. This isn't the longest article, so we'll go right through it. It's pretty interesting, though. I like to see how people find leaks and kind of hacking backdoor information. Little little crumbs in the code. So 2 years ago, Valve told The Verge it wanted a successor to its cult classic Steam controller, which incredibly customizable buttons and touchpads paved the way for the Steam Deck handheld PC. Now, Valve watcher Brad Lynch, who is a Twitter user, by the way, so this is a little bit of a Twitter leak. Brad Lynch claims a Steam Controller 2 codename Ibex is actually getting made. His sources tell him the Steam Controller 2 is currently being tooled for mass production, and it's apparently not the only new Valve gamepad on the way. You know how much I love my gamepads. So this tweet, and I'll go ahead and read it for you guys. You can see it on the screen if you are fortunate enough to be watching us. Brad Lynch tweeted out that codename for Steam Controller 2 is Ibex, IBEX, for you that want to research it on yourself. It is a separate product from Deckard's Roy controllers. Both are being tooled for a mass production goal in their factories right now. That's why I know they're in the latter stages of production. So remember the long swirling rumors about Valve's standalone Deckard VR headset, the one that could be an inexpensive Meta Quest-like wireless alternatives to the aging Valve Index? Lynch has discovered references to a new wand-like Roy controller in Valve's Steam VR code, and his sources say that Roy is now aimed at mass production as well. What's more, Roy may have enough buttons to double as a Steam controller gamepad when it's not acting as your hands in VR. That'd be pretty sick, to be honest. If you're over here just like you got gloves on, gaming,
Yeah.
be interesting. I know it's not gloves. It's basically wands. Is what it makes it sound like. So unlike the Index wands, they'll apparently have a D-pad, bumpers, aka shoulder buttons, and a full set of A, B, X, Y buttons for traditional gaming as well. So Valve, this is going back to Brad over here. So Valve Roy controllers have at least a D-pad, bumpers, grip pads, triggers, A, B, X, Y, system button, and some sort of scrap. He is confident in this info based on the data mining and sources who wish not to be named. There's also unreleased OpenXR extension for these controllers. That's kind of interesting. So they're already preparing for it. That means it is well past the beta trial and error stages. Probably into quality assurance now. So presumably, Valve would ship the unannounced Deckard headsets at the time as its Roy wands. And I guess Roy is just the code name. I know.
Yeah.
So every time I say
Roy.
Roy, just think about it as just the name of the controller. They are curious how it's evolved since the patent drawings. Might it have an ARM chip inside, as was also rumored? Is the question that Sean Hollister gives us. Valve hasn't confirmed any of this, of course. These days, it tends to wait until it's ready to show a near complete product before sunrising or surprising, announcing everything at once. It did also partner with Hori on an officially licensed Steam game deck that's coming to the US, but it's not really a proper successor. That's pretty interesting. So we covered a couple of Hori, HORI,
Yeah.
gamepads before, and they look pretty interesting. I've never actually had one, but if they're licensed with Steam, they're gonna be good. They're like throwback controllers, kind of,
Yeah.
like Twitch, and they have a whole bunch of different sets. They have actually like a game fighting pad too. That's pretty cool for the PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah, like I forgot what they're called. I think that's it. A fighting pad,
Yeah. Like fight stick.
like the fight stick and all the buttons and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, arcade style. Yeah, so pretty cool. The image looks incredibly bizarre for the actual controller. I don't even know. Like, oh, this is the original Steam controller and a prototype that preceded it. So interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, so it looks like Valve is hard at work at trying to break into more of the hardware.
Control the market, huh?
Controller market, yeah. Handhelds, the decks, like all that kind of stuff. Very, very, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more interested to see, I think, the VR stuff. Kind of make a cheaper wireless VR. That sounds intriguing. See the controllers that come with it. I'm all for Valve. I mean, the Valve Index was pretty good when I saw it, especially when it first came out. So, hey.
Very true.
Make something like that wireless. You got yourself a hit there.
This is the wave.
Sure is. We're only, 2 weeks away? calendar. Help me. Yeah, pretty much. I think 2 weeks away from the Game Awards, dude.
It will be December 12th at 7:30.
So, like, yeah, 4-ish. All right, well.
Yeah.
The Game Awards announces Game of the Year 2024 nominees. There's also some other announcements we'll get into. I'm pulling this Zoe Hannah from Polygon. So I'm pulling these to get the info, but hey, we're going to get into it. So, the Game Awards announced its nominees for Game of the Year 2024 in a live stream on Monday. This year's race for Game of the Year hasn't had an obvious frontrunner thus far, making the announcement one of the bigger surprises in the show's 10-year history. As of today's announcement, the 6 nominees for Game of the Year are locked in. There were some big surprises, like a resurgence of Black Myth Wukong and a near shutout of Dragon Age Veilguard. On the sweet side, there was a strong showing for indies, including Balatro. Indies, baby.
I love indies so much, dude. Absolutely.
Now the next round of voting begins. The jury will also select from nominees for categories like Best Mobile Game, Best Debut Indie Game, and more. Fans can cast their own vote through December 11th. The Game Awards are on December 12th at 7:30 p.m. EST. Boy, am I excited, Mike. Boy, am I excited. Listen, we get right off the bat here. All right. We can, honestly, I'm going to do a couple more categories before we get Game of the Year, because there's a lot to go through. We obviously won't go through all of them, because there are a lot.
Yeah, let's see here.
Definitely want to do.
I'm trying to think.
I want to do kind of the best game direction, best ongoing game.
Let's do this. Let's go off the cuff. Okay. Let's hit the ones that we think people are most likely to be interested in, and then we'll finish with Game of the Year. I think we go with game direction, ongoing game, art direction. So pretty much like the next few. We got to mention our mobile game and our narrative.
Yep, narrative for sure.
And then after that, I think we should start diving more into I don't know, multiplayer probably.
Yeah,
independent.
probably.
We got to shout out the indies.
Let's see. Best adaptation. We can maybe go and talk about. I've seen a few of those. Best adaptation, best multiplayer, best indie, debut indie. We can talk about that. Most anticipated. Ooh, so that's like going in the future. I forgot they did that. It's interesting. We can talk about that. Best RPG. I don't know if I played many of those, but yeah, dude, there's a lot to go through, Mike. But I think I like the plan. So let's start off. Let's talk about this best game direction, Mike. Best game direction. Here's our nominees. We have Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, DLC by the way, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor, Refantasio. Okay.
Interesting. I don't know if I would actually include Final Fantasy or Elden Ring in there.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, I guess if you think of game direction in terms of like kind of a redesign or a remake of like something, then maybe I can include it.
I think you and I have kind of been on the same train of thought when it comes to DLCs of not including them in Game Awards at the end of the year.
Elden Ring, I agree. I'm like, okay, I kind of like maybe, but like also it's DLC, so I don't know.
True.
Yeah, Black Myth Wukong, hell yeah, dude, I'm for it. Astrobot, I think Astrobot 2 kind of like taking what was like a PS5 demo and then like making it into a game. I think that is game direction.
That is, I think that fits. I think what it's going to end up being is Black Myth Wukong, probably.
Yeah, that's my thought.
There's also like an adaptation
segment
here too. I don't know if that would count, but
I think Black Myth Wukong, or like honestly, probably Final Fantasy VII. I wouldn't be surprised if Rebirth got a nod.
We are talking about game direction here, so it would be interesting to see how it works.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what I got. I need to remind myself to vote in this because I didn't vote last year and I was upset.
I didn't vote last year.
I want to vote last year. I want to make sure I vote this year.
No, I think I did actually. Yeah, I definitely voted in one of them.
All right, here we go. Best ongoing game, Mike. We have Destiny 2. We have Diablo 4. We have Final Fantasy 14. Fortnite, which is crazy. It's still relevant in these wars, this many years later.
It is.
Helldivers 2 is the last nom. Best ongoing game. I mean, it's so easy to give it to something like Fortnite, right? Because they've innovated, they've done stuff different. they get to
They've always
Roblox
been
now. Like it's crazy.
around.
It's crazy. Diablo 4 is, I feel like, a good one because it's got the new DLC that came out recently. I don't know if the
They've been
player base is
sticking pretty consistently to their seasons, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. People have been loading it up. They beat the game, and then they're just waiting for the next update to come through. I think that's a really strong contender. I don't know about Fortnite. I feel like
Yeah,
Fortnite is just kind of
don't think so either.
recycling stuff a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, out of all this, I like Diablo 4. Helldivers 2 would probably be a runner-up, even though it's died off significantly. I think since it came out.
Yeah,
It's upsetting.
I think those two. Because didn't Helldivers 2 come out with an update for PvP, or were they going to?
Something like that.
I can't remember. There was a lot of updates that were working on Helldivers 2. But I don't think. Here's the problem. I don't think they're going to get the votes. I don't think Helldivers 2 are going to get the votes, or Destiny 2, because of the controversies that happened this year.
Yeah, because of
that's the thing. It's
off,
like I don't think. I think all of them are going to be deserving, but I don't think it's going to get the votes. It's like the court of public opinion really matters in these.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's gonna be Diablo 4. It would be very Game Awards of it to be Final Fantasy though. So who knows?
Yeah, actually, yeah. The Final Fantasy group is very dedicated.
Yep. Best art direction. Going to this one. It's Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring DLC, Metaphor Refantasio, and Neva.
I don't know what Neva is.
I don't know what Neva is either, bro. I'll be honest.
I don't know.
Sounds like an indie. Trying to think.
Okay, Neva is all art. I clicked on the hyperlink. I'm looking at images, and it is straight up all art. So
Neva wins. It goes crazy. Let's go.
I feel like it might. I feel like it might do well. Either that or Elden Ring again. Yeah, I know it's a DLC, but it's art direction, and they kind of crushed it.
Hey man, games do the art right. Best mobile game, Mike. AFK Journey, Latro, Withering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, Pokemon TCG Pocket. Well, Pokemon TCG Pocket is the clear winner. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. It's probably going to go to Balatro, I think.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I think Balatro is probably the winner in this one. TBH.
Yeah, that game is so nutty. That's the reason it's so successful. It's got to be best mobile game.
Yeah.
Easily. They're like top in the charts.
Hey, bro, if you're not Game of the Year, mobile game for sure. Come on. Best narrative. We have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. We have Metaphor Fantasio. We have Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. And we have Silent Hill 2. Totally unbiased opinion cover for me. Silent Hill 2. Totally no bias whatsoever.
Well, the problem is I haven't played any of these. I've only seen people play them.
Yeah.
I feel like Hellblade 2 is gonna get a lot of votes for sure, but I do know that Silent Hill 2 really came swinging, is what you were telling me.
I mean, yeah, I think technologically it did. Especially after watching videos and stuff like that, and I even talked about it after I played the game and watching a bunch of retrospectives and hearing a lot of people's perspectives and points. It would not surprise. Maybe it's the bias speaking, but I would love Silent Hill 2 to win this because I think it's a narrative that still holds up to this day. And we're talking about a 20-year-old game that still, dude, talks about some very serious topics, heavy topics.
Content,
it's very well done, and they navigate it very well. I think I thought the dialogue and the delivery from the voice actors and stuff is very well done. You could definitely tell it wasn't overacted. It was just they did a very, very good job of selling it. I think it's I don't know. I vote for the Silent Hill 2 just because I'm impressed with how well it holds up. Just even all this time after the original came out, and it was redone and it wasn't touched like it should have not been touched, and it just turned out really well. So, yeah, dude, that's my vote. Probably, yeah. There's take that with a hint of bias, but that's what I think because like that. I mean, I will say out of these, I only played Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 and Silent Hill 2. I thought Senua's Saga, it was a short game, or Senua is what I should say. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is a short game. I will say though that it's just for a lot of people it wasn't they were just oh, it's too short. I didn't get it. It just kind of flew by. I mean, there was parts of that story though where like I was really paying attention and it was like it like really gripped me. I think at parts of just like okay, like this is like I'm about to cry because it's so beautiful kind of thing. At least for me, that was how I experienced it. So it wouldn't surprise me if this ended up winning. But then again, I mean, Like a Dragon, those Like a Dragon games are just crazy, and they do a good job of kind of selling a story. So these are a lot of good contenders. I vote Silent Hill 2, but there's no guarantee to win because this is a stacked lineup. So I don't know.
Yeah, this is probably gonna be the most difficult one, I think. Best narrative.
Sure. So yeah, dude, with some good music. I will say Silent Hill 2 is a nom for best score in music. Score, baby, music. Oh gosh, they used a lot of like the old music from the original game, and it's just like there was a lot of points where I was playing, and there's like a really gripping, tight scene where you're just like, oh man, this is very heavy, or like there's a lot going on with these two characters right now, and then all of a sudden you just hear like it's like a hip hop beat over it, and it's just like why? Like you're pulling me out, like why? So that better not win. I would be very upset. So yeah, pretty funny stuff there. Best audio, Black Ops 6. You think it has best audio?
No, never. Never in my life am I ever gonna vote audio in Call of Duty. I don't care. I haven't played it yet, but no.
Yeah.
No shot.
This would not surprise me if Cinema Saga ends up getting it because the audio in that game is very good. I thought so. Which it's like the first game. Audio is very well done.
That's the whole point.
Right. It's very audio focused.
Oh my god! I remember watching YouTube videos, just people talking about how the audio was so dynamic and how like you can hear everything. And it was very, very like
They spend a lot of time
immersive.
On that because it's a very important point of that game is feeling like kind of the mental anguish and kind of feeling all that.
It's got to be that. It's got to be that.
So I mean, I feel like they should go to Cinema Saga, but
I didn't even think about it.
It's just me. It's a very huge point of that game, so it's got my vote. Best adaptation.
What do you think?
Fully biased here. I've only seen.
You're gonna say.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I've even seen anything else other than Fallout on this. I'm pretty bad about like I haven't seen like Arcane. I heard is very good. I have not checked it out.
I was bored out of my freaking mind watching that.
Oh man, tough. I guess if you're in the league, it probably makes sense. But
yeah, I mean, like you have a vested interest, but for me, I was just like, yeah, everybody kept hyping it up, and I'm like, dude, I played League too, but I'm not. Nah, that's not for me. It was just
dude.
I wasn't like I saw what was going on. And I was just like, okay, why do I care? What like I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. That probably
there's gotta be Fallout.
Probably me. Yeah, Like a Dragon, Yakuza. See that. Tomb Raider, Legend of Lara Croft. Didn't see it. Knuckles didn't see it. Sorry. Fallout's the winner, dude. Fallout wins for me, and I will. My defense against Fallout is like not only was it very well done, but it was also canonical with the story. Like the fact that they wove it in with the games, and it actually is gonna have, it's gonna have weight onto what the future of the franchise is. It's still just like yes, please more. They did it right. So that's just for me. It's like a million times yes. I don't know, dude. Fallout's got my vote through and through.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too. Oh, wow. Okay, I just realized there's already this is my mistake. Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, not to be confused with the live adaptation. Oh? That is the cartoon version. I did not know. I confused. I clicked on it because I was about to talk about it. Apparently, it's on Netflix.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna be checking that out later.
Interesting. Haven't seen it.
Weird. Cool.
Yep. Fallout has my totally biased vote. So it's just me.
Yeah, same. I did. That was amazing.
It was so good. And just as a fan of the games, it's a million times better. So best multiplayer.
Ooh.
Here we go, Mike. Here's the list.
Ooh.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and Tekken 8. A lot of heavy hitters, dude.
Okay, first and foremost, it would have been Helldivers 2 had Sony not been total jerks.
Oh, got him.
100%, it would have been Helldivers 2. I played Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. It was really, really good. It was a lot of fun. The problem is that's like a niche audience, and it takes a while to get like your buddies involved and get set up. I think it's going to come down to either Tekken 8 or Super Mario Party. I think it's going to come down to those two. Dude.
But then again, with all my only thing is with all the hype around Black Ops 6 and how it did really well on Game Pass, sold a lot of units. Like it's probably just gonna take it just for
recency,
just from
bias,
market, literally just from market sales alone. They're gonna be like, oh my god, Call of Duty. But,
I don't want that to happen. I want people to win based on merit, not based on numbers.
yeah, Super Mario Party. I mean, Tekken. Hey, dude, Tekken's got a huge fan base, you know. So,
yeah,
good
no
win.
joke. I mean, Tekken 8 was like really well regarded. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, Space Marine 2, Warhammer. Like I read that was really good. You said best indie game, dude. Eva's on there. UFO 50. Lorelli and the Laser Eyes. Balatro and Animal Well. Animal Well? One guy, Mike, made that game. Kidding me? One guy.
that is pretty
it's
impressive.
good. And it's very good. There's a lot of hidden Easter eggs, a lot of secrets, a lot of replayability. So come on. Donkey published it. Come on, dude.
Is
there ever
I know
another
who, I know who it's gonna be though. The next two, like you got best indie game and then you got best like the
debut indie? Yeah,
debut indie. It's got to be Balatro, both of them.
Ooh, you said both of them. Okay.
I think both of them. Although I think Pacific Drive would be pretty cool. But
You're just gonna do the Plucky Squire like that, Mike?
I am gonna do Plucky Squire like that.
It's crazy. Pacific Drive, dude. Crazy. Banner Lords, bro.
What do you think it should be?
I mean, debut indie? Pacific Drive looked really good, but
yeah.
Oh man,
it's hard, man.
It is hard.
It's gonna be really hard.
Yeah.
That's the problem with like best indie game categories. Debut indie.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Yeah, maybe Pacific Drive for debut. Probably Balatro for indie. If it doesn't get Game of the Year, it's definitely probably gonna get that. Yeah, it's a hard one, dude. These indies, it's crazy. Definitely crazy. Should we look forward a little bit, Mike? Best or the
most anticipated
game? You have Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
Ooh, that's gonna be up
You
there.
have Ghost of GOTY.
Yeah, shit. That's the sequel to Tsushima, right?
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 6.
I mean,
come on. Do I say the other two, Mike? Do I utter the other two? But for real, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which the next Metroid Prime, it's been through hell development-wise. They've had to switch studios. It's getting made.
Yep.
So next entry in that, they want to make sure
to launch finished.
They want to get it right, you know.
Yep.
That's important. Monster Hunter Wilds, a lot of Monster Hunter people out there. A lot of people play the beta. Saying it's good. It's gonna be a good game, I'm sure. Oh man, most anticipated game. I mean, dude, if GTA does not win this, if a game that we've been waiting a decade plus for a GTA game,
it's gotta be GTA.
And Rockstar's been pouring everything into it.
Yeah,
we know it's gonna do well. Like, it's one of those games that comes out on console, but not for PC for like another year or some crap. Dude, it's that kind of game, dude. It takes that long to make. It's gonna be a console seller for sure. I really think people are probably gonna buy PS4 Pro or PS5 Pro just for that. Would not surprise me. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Need I say more?
It's just a fact.
And it's not to discount the other games. All these other games, I'm sure, like Death Stranding 2 looked interesting as any Hideo Kojima game looks.
So does Ghost of GOTY.
Ghost of GOTY, like GOTY looks very good.
Sorry. And then Metroid Prime 4.
I mean, dude, everyone's waiting for another Metroid game, and it's
I'm not big into the Monster Hunter games. I know there's like a cult-like following. That's a lot of fun. I played them before. People, They're really cool. Not for me personally. The other four I'm more interested in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Monster Hunter. I know a lot of people are anticipating new Monster Hunter game. It's gonna be really good. There's talks that it could be that and some other games that could overshadow Avowed because it's around that release window of February. I'm still gonna be playing Avowed, but that's kind of the idea. It's because I'm just not a Monster Hunter person. But that's just me.
So sick.
Metroid Prime 4 though, yeah, not to discredit these other games because they're all gonna be good. I feel like, but yeah, GTA 6, dude. When you take a decade to release a game and you're just release banger after banger, you release another Red Dead banger. Like, come on, dude.
It's just destroying people, dude.
All I have to say is, where's my LA Noire sequel?
Yep.
Where's it, Rockstar? And Just bring back Max Payne. Why not, dude? Max Payne 4. Just why not?
Bring back a lot of games. Yeah, there's a lot of IPs that need to make them come back.
Yeah.
But hey, I went through and I started scrolling through the other categories, and the rest of them get kind of into a niche.
Oh, dude. Hold on.
I don't know any of the content creators, for example.
You don't know any, bro. You don't know Queso, dude. Queso better win, dude. I'd be upset if Queso didn't win.
Is Queso that? Yeah, Queso is the TikToker guy.
Yeah, he's like the TikToker. Yeah. He's the fat TikToker guy, but it's like the joke is like everyone calls him like fat and stuff, so they joke about his Wendy's orders and crap. But dude, he's hilarious. I love Queso, dude. He takes the piss out of himself all the time, and it's that kind of content, dude. Yeah, if Queso doesn't win, it's rigged.
But here's the thing: it should probably be Kai Cenat.
I mean, is he nominated? I don't see him.
No, but he should be.
Oh, like he should be nominated on that. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Was he nominated last year? Because he's been around for a while. I know he's done crazy things this year.
I guess so. I mean, a lot of these, it's hard for content creators to have such a massive following because you got like Kai right now has 120,000 people watching him
on daily, bro.
That is insane.
He streams with all the celebrities. That's probably the craziest part, right? He gets all these
constantly.
People on.
Well, I mean, so celebrities are reacting to the fact that nobody watches movies or TV shows anymore.
Yep.
So their fame is now being dwarfed by people online.
Yep.
So they realize that and they're like, "Oh crap, that's why I got to go hang out." Who's the biggest guy right now? Kai. Kai looks like he's pretty cool.
So he does it so different, man. Like, dude, those Elden Ring streams were crazy. The way he decked out his room and everything, made it look like he's in the game. Like, just wild.
He's that dude, man.
He's really cool. He does it right. He does it right.
But yeah, I don't know, man, because you get so big after a certain while, it's like who you're gonna upset an entire core group of fans, and you know how some fans are. They're like parasocial relationships, they're ride or die, and they take that stuff personally. It's kind of nutty.
No. But, yeah, best action adventure game. I have to mention one nomination. Is Star Wars Outlaws. That is up for nomination. Yeah, okay.
That's a Ubisoft. Okay. I bought this and bought my way into the club, man.
So good.
Jeez.
Do you think Helldivers 2 wins best action?
I don't think it'll win. Well, no, I think it's gonna go to Black Myth. So this is the problem when we start getting into these different categories. They really like intertwine with the ones above.
I mean, listen, dude. Best fighting game. I know your vote, dude. Already.
Oh yeah, it's Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball easily. Yeah. For me, it's got to be Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
But that's also because nostalgia is kicking me in the butt, and it's just so much fun. But what it should actually be is probably Tekken 8.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like in actuality, my vote would go Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I think Super Mario Party best family game, easy peasy. Won that. Best community support in Baldur's Gate 3 is actually up for a nom, which through their mod support actually kind of makes sense. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if that won.
I think that's fair.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fortnite won, to be honest.
Or No Man's Sky. They still crush it, dude. Didn't they win last year?
I think so. Yeah. Comeback game of the year. No, I don't know. But yeah, dude, it's best sim strategy game. Easily Unicorn Overlord, without a doubt.
I don't know, Manor Lords or Frostpunk 2.
Frostpunk 2, yeah. Only on
both
PC.
Both of those games are really, really good.
Yeah, dude.
Best sports. I mean, sports I feel like are just falling off a freaking cliff, dude.
I mean, dude, we have to talk about best esport game, Mike. We can't end this without. We can't get a game of the year before we get into this. Counter-Strike, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, and Valorant are your best esport game noms. Oh man, CS, dude.
It might have to be CS.
Perhaps.
It really might have to be.
Perhaps.
Because this is the first full season where they had Counter-Strike 2, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I think it might have to be that. I feel like Counter-Strike's getting bigger than it's ever have. It just keeps growing and growing and growing.
CS2,
but I can also see it go to League. That's the thing.
Yeah, that was up.
It's always the same games. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it kind of is, right?
Every year, it's
not much
the same
variation.
games. Then they throw like instead of Mobile Legends Bang Bang over here, they had PUBG Mobile.
Knowing Game Awards could be Mobile Legends Bang Bang. It would be like best game esport game of the year, Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
No. All right, it's time to get into it, Mike. Time to talk about Game of the Year.
Oh, Game of the Year. All right, so your
Game of the Year.
options.
It's described
Let's go.
it is described as recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. So keep that in mind.
Ooh.
Astrobot is number 1. Balatro is number 2. Black
put
Myth
them
Wukong is number 3. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC. Number 4. Number 5, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And last but not least, Metaphor Refantasio. No Helldivers 2. No, all of these? You know what's crazy? You know what I didn't see in all of these? Power World, bro. Pokemon with guns. I didn't see it, dude. Too much controversy.
Yeah. If
It's
they
kind
did
of
that,
upsetting.
that's the nutty thing. We had a hell of a year, man. We really did. In
There's some
terms
good
of
games.
games.
Probably not, like, look, they're really good games. Probably not as a heavy hitter as, like, last year was really good, I felt like.
Last year was nutty.
I don't think it was the same as last year, that's for sure. Like, last year was really good. I think next year, assuming everything stays in the release windows, will be good. If not, it's gonna be 2026, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, man, it's gotta be. I feel like it's gotta be Black Myth. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. That was a complete game.
It was.
And it was creative as all hell.
Yep.
The art style was amazing.
Yep.
People played like 3 hours in and they were like, this has to be Game of the Year. Like, right
yeah, it's like like they're playing it, they're just like, yeah. Dude, all the reviews were like, oh man, just like positivity and like, yeah, it's just like, and it's like I'm seeing, it's one of those games where like the reviews are full on books. Like I open the read more and it's like 8 paragraphs, and they're talking about audio design, they're talking about gameplay design, they're talking about boss metas, and it's like they go into detail because they like the game that much. It's one of those games.
So. I feel like it's one of those games where once you play it, it fundamentally changes you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You ever played those games?
Okay. Yeah.
Where you just play a game and you're just like, damn, like
there's like
something's different about the air today. You know, it's like I don't know what it is, but it's just like I feel a little bit lighter.
This is what happens when a perfect game is made. Is this what happens when they get it right?
It's like listening to your favorite band for the first time without realizing they're your favorite band.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude.
I don't know. What do you think? What was the last time you had that experience? I feel like I know what it is. It's got to be Alan Wake 2 for you, right?
I mean, maybe more recently, yeah, because that game is so different, right? Honestly, for me, when I really think about it, back in 2017, it was 2017, I finally got around to playing The Last of Us Part 1 for the first time. Ooh. And I was like, experiencing that story for the first time was like, yep, I get it. Like, that's what this is about.
Yeah, like,
we out here. It's just like, yeah, this is like really good narrative. And it's like one of the best narratives I've played. So I just, playing that game for the first time with something else. It almost was maybe like, dude, do I want to get into like game development? But then that died because I was like, yeah, then I see all the reality of it. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. But
yeah, so that sounds like a good idea, but not anymore.
Yeah. Now it's just like, no thanks. But yeah, it's just, yeah, dude, that game was probably the last time I was like, whoa. Like, yeah, I was playing a single player game and I was like, yeah, this is pretty crazy. And yeah, dude, I mean, I've felt that a couple times. But that's certainly one of them.
So much fun, dude.
And like, dude, even the Uncharted games, when I played all the Uncharted games, I finished Uncharted 4, dude, and I was like, dude, I wish I could just experience that again. Like, all of that, because it was just so good. Oh, man.
That's when you know you can go back and like play it through again.
Yeah.
Or you can just enjoy the fact that it happened and now it becomes like a core memory that you take with you as you go.
Yep. Sure does.
Yeah.
Sure does, dude. I will say, I am very excited. It sounds like Naughty Dog's working on new IP. That's kind of the rumor. I'm very excited about that because I want to dive into a new story by Naughty Dog because they just get it right. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited, Mike.
I think for me, the last 4 games I think made me walk away and I was like, that was really cool and I really enjoyed that. Where it's just like I will always remember this game now. And it had to be Number one, this is the game that actually got me back into gaming, like passionate about it. And I've talked about it countless of times. Is Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yep. I knew that was gonna be your game.
100%.
Woo.
I remember talking to you about that. I hated gaming. I was tired of it. I was like, I gotta play something new, something on Game Pass. It looks cool. I don't know anything about it. Let's load it up. And I was like, this is the shit. Okay, let's go. Like, I got sucked into it. The other one, Breath of the Wild, of course.
Yeah.
That one changed me. It Takes Two, playing that with my buddy.
Dude, that's actually a good one. Yeah.
That was a really
that's
really
another
good
one for me.
man.
Yeah. So
That was a
good.
really, really good one. And then, believe it or not, I got around to playing Firewatch, and I really,
Oh,
really
okay.
liked that game. I beat that one, and just not the mystery, like whole thing of it, but just never really thought as Firewatch being a profession. Like I know it is,
Mhm.
I know it
Yeah.
is, but I don't really think about it.
It is kind of
often.
wild. Yeah, like it does seem like otherworldly. It's like, wow, there's people that
Yeah.
actually do this.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, that's like a very vital part of the ecosystem that we should have been keeping track of this whole time. Like why
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Like and then I went to freaking Montana and then I saw Firewatch towers
Dude, that's sick.
in the mountains from like, I was just like, oh, that's right. Yeah, you need that up here because when wildfires go crazy, it's like you need to make sure you keep track of it. So
Yeah.
very
It's
cool
weird,
to
like,
see.
yeah, like the Montana. When I think of like, you know, someday I want to go to like Montana or like Oregon and like stay in a cabin
Yeah.
and just soak in those vibes, dude. Because it's just, I
Dude,
feel like
it's
it
a-
would just be
it's a
like
different
another.
world.
Exactly.
It's a
I just
different
feel
world,
like it
man.
would be out of this world. Like the
Yeah.
the Pacific Coast, like this northern Pacific Coast. Just, I feel like it would go crazy.
Shout out to anybody that lives out there because we're just a bunch of city slickers. Like I'm
Yeah.
in a major city in the south. You're in a major city in the south.
Yeah.
Not
it's
not
kinda
as
crazy.
major as the one I'm in, but at the same time, it's like going out to Montana, going out to the Rockies, and being 100% remote. No like cell service.
Yeah.
You're
It's
just
wild.
completely out there in the wilderness.
Yeah.
It's shell shock, really.
No.
So very, very cool.
Dude, another game, another one I just thought of was, and this because this hit at a time in my life where I was like finishing up college, and so it was very much like whole life ahead of me kind of thing, and I was just like, whoa, Life is Strange. Playing through that first game, playing through kind of the prequel after that.
That
The story
amazing,
was
yeah.
like it hit me at the right time because it's like I'm like the same age as Max, the main character, and so it was kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
I had some of those emotions going on, and it was kind of just like it's like I don't know. It was one of
man.
those things like I felt seen. Like it was just it hit me at the right time, dude. And so yeah, that was another one.
My
It's
man
like,
was
I'll,
tearing up playing the game. Let's
yeah,
go.
I'll never forget that. I played Life is Strange 2.
That's cool.
Wasn't as relatable to me because I think it's more of like a brotherly kind of, you know,
It is.
it's like big brother, younger brother kind of thing, trying to kind of escape, you know, racism and whatnot.
Mhm.
So, still a great game. They're really very, very well done. But yeah, I don't know. I've heard. I mean, there's the new Life is Strange game that came out that has Max in it.
Yes.
It's one of those things I probably will get around to playing it at some point. Because I'm pretty sure it's out. But I heard it's really good. So
That's actually on here twice, believe it or not, for Game Awards. Best performance, Hannah Tell, which I believe the person that's who plays Max, I believe.
Yeah, I would think so.
And then you have games for impact, which I mean is pretty much the main thing.
Oh yeah, double exposure. There it is.
Mhm.
Okay. Came out
Hannah
recently.
Tell, I believe. Let me double check before we start signing off here. Hannah Tell, actor. Yeah, Max Caulfield, voice actress for Max and Courtney.
Interesting. Yeah. Let's go, dude. Game Awards, Mike. Very not too far away. Excited. Should be good.
Nope, we're gonna do the usual thing. We're gonna cover it on the show.
Oh
So
yeah, dude.
definitely tune in for that. In like 3 weeks. Are we gonna do the same thing we did last year, where we do a bit of a special in a way? Like we do. We typically end up doing a regular weekly update, which there usually isn't much for at all, and then the special just for the Game Awards.
Yeah,
I
probably
think
doing
we
that.
should
You
do
know,
that.
probably I will do it. We'll just cook,
Be a good time,
dude.
man.
And that'll be towards the end of the year, dude. End of the season. Crazy.
Dude, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the holidays. We get to just vibe, bro.
Yeah, dude.
So excited.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's always the best time.
Vibe.
I'm probably gonna be taking a chunk off for work too. It'll be great.
I got 3 days worth of PTO left and 1 floating holiday. So
you burned it all, baby.
I burned all of it, yeah.
Burned all.
But this time I don't have to go travel. Like I'm not going up to New England, you know.
No, yeah, that's good.
I don't have to travel as far. Got the family and everybody
Dude,
nearby. So
that's actually be really nice for you. Yeah, stay home and
yeah,
chill.
it's gonna be the first. It's gonna be the first time I've been able to do that. Like we're gonna go over Thanksgiving, and it's a day trip. Like
It's amazing,
dude. Before it was like a week.
Yeah,
So
yep.
it's very, very cool. Not spending with the friends anymore. I was always,
Yeah.
every group of friends always had that one person that was like doesn't have family nearby.
Yep.
So
So
it's
you just get
like,
invited
all right,
over.
you're coming over. You're
Yep.
coming over. Yeah, that was me for pretty much like 10 years.
Dang,
So,
dude. Okay.
yeah. So now I'm like, oh, I can actually go like hang out with the fam.
My family's
we'll do a day
close.
trip.
Let's go.
Yeah. Do
That's
Christmas
awesome.
here at the house, and then go do Christmas there.
Yeah.
Catch
Yeah,
the
that's
Uber drive.
pretty much what I've been doing. You know, just
Yeah.
do that. So
It's a vibe, man.
awesome, man. Awesome.
Yes,
It's too
sir.
good.
Well, I feel like we took enough of people's times. We
It's a
kind
long
of
one
ranted
today.
a little bit.
It's a long one
Yeah,
today.
it was a long one today, but it was pretty much long because we got into talking like over 30 minutes about one Microsoft Xbox marketing situation.
Strategy.
Yeah, strategy, and then we got diving into philosophical stuff, and we talked about the game awards really.
Yeah.
So
Up for that.
yeah, it's very,
Good
very
stuff.
cool. So shout out Zoe Hanna over here at Polygon for giving us the breakdown on the nominations for the last article for today. But Kyle, before we let the people go, I always like to give you an opportunity. Do you want to add anything?
Dude, nah, man. It's pretty good. Like the stuff coming out this week. Got a lot to look forward to, especially next year. Just got me excited. And yeah,
Always
dude,
does, dude.
I think it's pretty good stuff. Down the pipeline, pretty good. I know we also got a shout out recently on I think it was Rockin' Ray. I think was both their names.
Rock and Ray gave us some love.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, much love there, dude. It was awesome. Yeah, we both
Yep.
Mike and I both watched that, and super humbled, man. Super grateful. So appreciate the love out
in the sea of negative comments that we receive.
there. I know, and all of that, and all that
video
crap.
of
It's like
people being like, for real, like, hey, we like that, and I like what Ray said. He goes, I was actually pleasantly like impressed, and I was like, okay, it sounded sincere. So I was like, I really like that. That was very nice.
Yeah, no, I was giddy, dude, when we watched that. So
yeah, you were geeking.
I was, man. I was geeking. So, yeah, no, it was awesome, man. So much love, dude. It's good to see some positivity for sure. So
that's a fact, dude. They seem like really nice guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And sound like I had an English accent, and then Ray was American.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're you guys were curious. We're American. So
yeah, we are American.
Yeah, red blooded.
Well, I'm from the South.
Red blood as they come. Yeah, you're from
the South. Even though I don't sound like it.
I'm a true Yankee. So, for Chen though. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't let me bust out my my passport wherever it is. My British passport.
Big bang.
Dude. People are like, we're trapped. I'm like, I can escape. Let's go. To Canada. They still have the Queen on the bill. Let's go, baby.
Oh, true. Listen, next week might also have a live, maybe. We'll see, dude.
Oh, yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal. On TikTok, though. We're going to try it on TikTok first. I feel like TikTok is the way for us to do the trial and error because nobody really pays attention to the live streams. They just stumble across it.
Yeah, it's like,
I think that's the goal.
What's this?
Yeah, what's this? Click on it. Let's go. And then after that, I got to figure out how to even make that possible on the vertical format. Whatever. Yeah, I think that's really just the goal. I want to get us more into live content. I want to get us more into making shorts. I now understand how to do tracking, which means I can help with the shorts. Because before I had no idea what the heck to do.
Yeah, dude. The tracking was really good. I think you mentioned you did like the frame by frame or whatever.
Dude, yeah, it was
Like
brutal.
that. Yeah, you may have to show me that.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a shortcut that I don't know. So.
Dude, there ain't no shortcut. I mean, there's a shortcut, I guess. I don't even know. I'll show you what I did. But anyways, we're kind of ranting. This wasn't intended to be an hour and 45 minutes, by the way. So next one will be shorter, more than likely, because it's the holidays in the US. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We really much appreciate you. We have timestamps in the description below. If this is too long for you and you've actually just skipped to the end to figure out what the heck we're talking about, just go check out the links in the description, the timestamps where you can check out anything that might interest you. Jump around, check it out, whatever. Like, subscribe, all the cool things. But true closeout fashion. I'm your host, Michael Anthony. My co-host is Kyle Heath, and this has been the M2 Podcast. We thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
Everybody, go get a PlayStation Portal. Don't need a
actually.
PlayStation.
And like comment back and tell us what it's like.